Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider a subscriber to the channel as always. So as you all know guys, there's just under 2 weeks now remaining this current transfer window, and obviously we do know now Manchester United are desperate to get more deals over the line, and I do believe we are going to definitely do more transfer activity this summer. I do believe another 2 or maybe even 3 players are going to come in before this current window does shut. And I do believe these 3 players who are going to come in, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes, Milinkovic, Savic, and Maguire. So it's looking like they're going to be the next 3 signings there that do come in to Manchester United. Obviously we do know so far this summer we have spent £68 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, but we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware that we need more than that. He wants to build on this, and obviously his priorities is to recommend an experienced centre-half in, and he also wants to add reinforcements in that midfield, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba. Well, we do know the initial plan was to actually keep Paul Pogba. That was the initial plan, and then bring 2 new midfielders in, that can actually replace Ander Herrera and Mario Fellaini, because obviously they've both left the football club, and obviously we do know we are in search for them a right winner. So like I've give you the update on a regular basis about Bruno Fernandes, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be our third signing this summer. I think it reportedly said that Sporting Lisbon have accepted around a £62 million bid from Manchester United, and reportedly Manchester United and Sporting Lisbon have reached a transfer agreement and a fee of around £62 million, and of course has been agreed reportedly, and obviously this is going to take our spending up to around £130 million if obviously we do get the deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. I do believe that Bruno Fernandes is set to fly to England for his Manchester United medical ahead of his proposed move to Old Trafford and all that. But these reports were actually stemming from the Italian press yesterday, saying that he was set to fly to England and all that of his Manchester United medical, and it said Manchester United have reached a transfer agreement with Sporting Lisbon. I think reportedly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed he wants to play Bruno Fernandes as a number 10. So obviously that's a number 10 is obviously just playing behind the centre forward, because probably believes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he'll probably stand out in that position will Bruno Fernandes. But I do believe anyway he's actually primarily an attacking midfielder. But it's looking like now we're going to get the deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes, which is fantastic, because I did say we've actually become infuriated in in the last few weeks. We've become infuriated within our chase over Bruno Fernandes, because obviously you thought we'd have had the deal over the line by now for Bruno Fernandes, but obviously for quite some time Sporting Lisbon's valuation has seemed to be the stumbling block, because obviously Sporting Lisbon do value him at around £70 million. Federico Fernandes, he came out earlier on this week and he basically revealed what fee Manchester United would have to pay to convince Sporting Lisbon to offload him, and they initially said we'd have to pay upwards of £56 million. But now at long last we've finally reached an agreement with Sporting Lisbon, according to reports. But it's been looking very likely he was going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon anyway, and I think Sporting Lisbon have been coming to accept the fact that that Bruno Fernandes does want to leave Sporting Lisbon to obviously rejuvenate his career, and of course take his footballing career to the next level. And I know Bruno Fernandes hasn't really got the experience of playing to the highest level as yet. He hasn't. He knows little about Champions League football. And this is why it said the other week, that the board had concerns about spending quite a bit of money on a player that doesn't really have experience of playing to the highest level. So it said the other week that Ed Woodward had said no to Bruno Fernandes. He said that Ed Woodward had said no to Bruno Fernandes and all that, and he did initially say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't getting back to for this particular signing. And obviously with the recent rumours coming out about Milinkovic Savic, he did initially say if Milinkovic Savic was to come to Manchester United, it was unlikely that Bruno Fernandes was currently going to come in, because it initially said that we believe that most of the speculation about Bruno Fernandes was actually stemming from Portugal, his homeland, rather than Manchester. But the Sporting Lisbon boss, he came out earlier on this week, and he basically said that Bruno Fernandes could leave Sporting Lisbon this summer. He said his future still remains up in the air, but he did say it's going to be hard for Sporting Lisbon to find an adequate replacement for him. But he did say clubs have been keen on signing the player. Obviously Man United I think are the only team in the running now anyway, even though before Tottenham win for him, Liverpool and that would in for him. And I think Bruno Fernandes' agent has been to the UK quite a few times, because obviously he's looking for the best possible deal for his client. But it confirmed a while back I know we didn't come to an agreement on a fee for quite some time, but it did initially say a while back anyway that, we had agreed the personal terms with Bruno Fernandes. It said a contract term and that had been agreed. Reportedly, it said allegedly we're set to pay him around 100 grand a week, which equates to around 5.5 million a year. But I think we've now reached an agreement on around the 62 million pound fee. Do you think that? I think that's pretty reasonable, for Bruno Fernandes, to be quite honest, because I do believe he's got, all the attributes to definitely, come and succeed in the Premier League, and I think he'll exceed expectation levels at Manchester United and all that. Like I said, he's got that proven pedigree as a goal scorer. He has definitely got that because he's proven that in his 2 years in Portugal. He scored 32 goals in 50 games last season for Sporting Lisbon, and he's done really, really well. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger. Obviously, at one point, Liverpool were in for Bruno Fernandes. Recent reports indicated out early on this week saying that PSG had entered the race. It didn't just say that we'd submitted a bid, or we was orchestrating on submitting a bid of around 49 or 50 million pounds. But obviously now that's too insufficient for Sporting Lisbon. But like I said, Ed Woodward himself, wants to get deals over the line. I think he did initially say he remained in the UK, to oversee our current transfer business. But like I did say to you, and I will say it again, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't get all the players he wants, you can basically say that the board let him down, because initially the board assured that there was going to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this summer. But you can, basically, if we don't get all the players that we want, then obviously our fans are going to obviously criticise the board. We're also going to criticise Ed Woodward and all that. But I thought initially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have been given around 200 odd million pounds to spend. But like I said, there's just under 2 weeks remaining now in this window. There has been a lot of speculation of players supposedly coming in and players supposedly leaving the football club. Few people said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. Reportedly, we're not intending on overspending on our transfer targets like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did initially confirm. But Solskjaer's adamant that we don't need to sell players. I think we need to sell players anyway, to help us generate funds and of course rebuild the squad. But I think we need a couple of new additions in that midfield. So Bruno Fernandes comes in, that will be absolutely fantastic indeed. Primarily an attacking midfielder, only 24 years of age, will fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly. And his initial release clause is £88 million, is Bruno Fernandes, and Manchester United obviously have confirmed we're not determined to go anywhere near that figure. Obviously he signed a 5-year deal with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he's on the contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023 and all that. Until 2023 is Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, so it's looking likely he's going to be our third signing this summer. But then obviously we're looking to bring another couple of players in after we've got Bruno Fernandes over land. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to bring Milinkovic and Savic in when the deal for Bruno Fernandes is fully complete, because I think Bruno Fernandes and Milinkovic Savic will collectively improve our midfield. They both can score goals. They both can create a chance, and I think they'll look a fantastic base in our midfield. It'd be even more better if Paul Pogba was to stay, and Paul Pogba was playing alongside the likes of Milinkovic Savic and Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. That would be absolutely fantastic. But like I said, with the Paul Pogba situation, it's not having any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. So Bruno Fernandes moved to Manchester United. He's not dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba. Maybe Milinkovic Savic to Manchester United is dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba, because Lazio are demanding £90 million. We're only willing to offer around £72 million for Milinkovic Savic. So that's obviously around 18 million short of Lazio's valuation and all that. But like I said, there's still lots to address in the squad. I do believe we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players. But Solskjaer did say in late March, he said his actual preference was to get all our transfer business done by the time we did go on pre-season. But like I said, I've enjoyed pre-season so far. I've had a really good start to pre-season. 4 wins out of 4. 9 goals scored. Only 1 goal conceded. And I do believe the young players have really stepped up to the plate, and there is quite a few upcoming players in our squad. You've got Mason Greenwood. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has assured he's going to get more playing time this season, which is fantastic. He was fantastic. He's done fantastic so far in pre-season. He was good in the reserves last season. He scored 30 goals in 29 appearances, and he's only 17 years of age. He's Mason Greenwood, so he is the upcoming future, but he's going to get more chances this season, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. You've got Chon. He's still inexperienced at the moment, but he started pre-season really, really well, so he's the upcoming future. And you've got Jimmy Garner. He's the upcoming future. Someone said a while back that Jimmy Garner could emulate into like Michael Carrick and all that. There was talk about that a while back. Obviously, you've got the likes of Alex Tuanzebe, he did well last season with Aston Villa. I think McTominay started pre-season really, really well. With Fred, obviously, he's done well in his last 2 games when he has come on in pre-season as Fred. I still don't know if he is the long-term solution for Manchester United. I think we overpaid for him last summer. We paid £50 million to him, so I do believe the club overpaid for Fred, because he hasn't got a fantastic pedigree. He was good at shot to the nest, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. But to be fair to Freddie, never really got the opportunity under Mourinho, but he's had the opportunity under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is willing to give everybody the chance. The fringe players, the young players, the experienced players, and Fred did well towards the back end of last season. Got Pereira. I think he's done quite well as well. He'll obviously get more chances. So we've got quite a few young players that are currently upcoming. But what a fantastic start we've had to pre-season. There's only 2 games now remaining anywhere now in pre-season. We've got Kristiansund on the 30th of July, which is obviously on Tuesday, I think, which is obviously in Norway. I think Oslo, where originally Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's from. And our last pre-season game is AC Milan, I think, at Cardiff. And then obviously it's a new Premier League season and all that. But I initially believe anyway, we're going to have a better season this season than what we initially saw last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th. We didn't win any silverware, and we haven't won any silverware in the past couple of seasons. And I think we'll have a better season this season. I know we failed to qualify for the Champions League, but I think we'll have a better season this season, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was speaking about our ambitions and all that, and he believes we'll be aiming for further up than 4th this season. I initially said I'm still sceptical about us winning the league, but I think I don't think we'll win the league, but I think we'll maybe finish in the top 4, maybe finish in the top 3 this season. So I don't think we'll currently win the league and all that. So it's looking like Bruno Fernandes is going to be our 3rd signing and that this summer. So the news about Milinkovic Savic, like I said, I think we're recommending him in. We're recommending him in after Bruno Fernandes was currently confirmed. With Milinkovic Savic, so a lot of reports were coming out about this the other week. This was coming from Sky in Italy, and then she said, Manchester United were set to submit around a £72 million £1 bid for him. Obviously, Lazio, like I said earlier on, are looking for somewhere in the region of around £90 million. Reporting Manchester United are willing to offer around £72 million. I do believe that Milinkovic Savic agent had arrived in the UK earlier on this week, and I still believe he's in the UK now. Obviously, to thrash out a deal for his client to join Manchester United. So Milinkovic Savic's agent is in negotiations with Manchester United and all that. But this is what it's currently said, and I think Milinkovic Savic has actually allegedly informed his Lazio teammates that he wants to leave Lazio this summer, as he has currently confirmed. Allegedly said early on this week, according to La Repubblica, the Italian outlet, they reportedly said that Manchester United had reached an agreement with Lazio. It said a fee and that had been agreed of around €75 million, which equates to around 67 million in pounds sterling, like it did currently confirm. And it reportedly said that Milinkovic Savic had agreed around a 5-year contract with Manchester United, which would take him under contract with the club until 2024 and all that. So he said early on this week a fee had been agreed, a contract term that had been agreed. But I recently read the Daily Mail and it reportedly said Manchester United have not yet made a formal bid for Milinkovic Savic, but reportedly we're willing to offer £72 million. Reportedly Lazio are looking for somewhere of around £90 million for the player. But Milinkovic Savic is a pretty decent player. Of what I've seen of him anyway, he's 4 years with Lazio. I think it did initially say he has been inconsistent in the last 5 or 6 months. His stats look very, very impressive, because the Lazio in all competitions he scored 31 goals in 138 games, and in the Serie A he scored 22 goals in 125 games as Milinkovic Savic. But that is He's under contract with Lazio till 2023. Obviously, signed this new deal last October. I think did Milinkovic Savic, but he is primarily a central midfielder, so he's mainly a box-to-box midfielder. Also, can play as an attacking midfielder, can Milinkovic Savic. But like I said, only 24 years of age. Of course, he is Serbian. Manchester United have been relentlessly linked to him. We've been linked to him since last summer, and I do believe Lazio last summer wanted over around £100 million for him, of course. But yeah, Manchester United, of course, have been relentlessly linked with the player. But I would be excited about the prospect of Bruno Fernandes and Milinkovic Savic coming in, because I think they're blending our midfield fantastically well. So I would be excited about them two currently coming in. So we're looking to get the transfer fully completed for Bruno Fernandes. Then we're going to focus on getting a deal over the line for Milinkovic Savic. But yeah, the valuation with Milinkovic Savic seems to be the stumbling block at the present time. Lazio want £90 million. Man United are only willing to pay around £72 million for the player. But initially said earlier on this week that Lazio have agreed to sell Milinkovic Savic. But like I said, we've definitely got to address that midfield. Obviously, there's still a lot of talks going on about Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Obviously, I think he's one of the players that Ed Woodward wants to get a deal completed for. Well, initially a couple of weeks ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for Sean Longstaff. I did, and as you said, now I'm very sceptical about Longstaff coming in, because obviously Newcastle have indicated how he's not for sale, and Newcastle obviously demanded an extortionate amount. Newcastle have said they want around £50 million for Sean Longstaff, and I do believe Manchester United would probably be reluctant to pay that amount for Sean Longstaff, because initially we only value him at around 18 or 20 million, and Newcastle are demanding more than double that. And obviously Steve Bruce was obviously just being appointed as Newcastle's new manager following dismissal of Rafa Benitez last month, was it? He's had his say on the speculation of Sean Longstaff, and he's basically said that Steve Bruce has said that Sean Longstaff's future lies with Newcastle. He's basically dismissed the speculation of Sean Longstaff joining Manchester United and all that, but he's not worth £50 million with Sean Longstaff, and basically don't care what anybody says. He's not worth £50 million. I think we was initially orchestrating on putting around £30 million bidding for Sean Longstaff, but this is going to be too insufficient, because Newcastle have said they want around £50 million. But you can say Sean Longstaff is still upcoming. He's still a prospect. He still needs time to develop, because he only made his senior debut for Newcastle in December of last year. Don't get me wrong, he had a good second half of last season, did Sean Longstaff. He's only got around 9 games under his belt. To be fair to Sean Longstaff, he did thrive under Rafa Benitez's guidance and all that, and some of his performances were good, and he's got a 4-year contract with Newcastle, so he is under contract them till 2022. We've held high level talks with Newcastle about Sean Longstaff, but obviously we've not yet made an official bid. But Newcastle are standing firm over Sean Longstaff, and they're being ruthless over this, and they basically don't want to offload the player. He's 21 years of age. He's primarily a central midfielder, so he's mainly a box-to-box midfielder. Obviously, he initially began his career with Newcastle, did Sean Longstaff. He had a loan spell with Kilmarnock and Blackpool. Didn't play last couple of months of last season anyway, due to a knee ligament injury. He had sustained, I think that was in March, and obviously didn't play the last couple of months last season due to the injury he had currently sustained. But yeah, £50 million I do believe is too currently Steve. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be fair, he's given his reflections on this transfer window, and he basically says we need to be patient and all that. We've got 2 good players in so far, and with Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, we've seen glimpses of what good signings they've proven to be so far anyway, because they've been absolutely fantastic so far in pre-season. Daniel James has got electrifying pace, and I think we have got more pace up front now. That's something we was lacking last season. We didn't see a lot of pace. This is why he wasn't good enough in the attacking third of the pitch, and this is why he also wasn't scoring enough goals. But now we've got that pace in that attacking line. You've got Daniel James with pace, Martial with pace, Rashford with pace. So that's very, very good. So we do look better now in the attacking third of the pitch. But with Daniel James, I still say he's a prospect, and he still currently needs time to develop. Still very, very young. Obviously with Wan-Bissaka, I think he's had a fantastic start to his Manchester United career, and I think he's got all the ingredients required to become a huge success at Manchester United. And he only made his senior debut in February of last year, so it's good how he's flourishing Wan-Bissaka, but he's got all the ingredients required anyway to become a huge success at Manchester United, and I do believe he can be our fullback for the next decade, because before we got Wan-Bissaka in, we didn't have a good defensive right back since we had the likes of Gary Neville. Let's be currently blatantly honest about it, but we need more than Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, like I currently said, because analysing our current squad at the moment, as it stands, it isn't good enough in my opinion. It isn't competitive enough, and I did say, regardless who our manager is, even if we had a manager to the highest level, they would still find it very, very, difficult with this current Manchester United squad. But we get Bruno Fernandes in, we get Milinkovic Savic in, and also we get Harry Maguire in. That's going to dramatically improve Manchester United a lot. I do believe we need to sell players, like I keep telling you. I think Paul Pogba and Lukaku, we can sell them both. It'll help us with our rebuilding process, it'll help us with our transition, and I do believe we can generate over £150 £50 million for their current departure. And as you said, based on the extortionate amounts, with Pot and Pogba and Lukaku, this could be, the stumbling block of both players making their proposed moves and way from Manchester United and all that. But yeah, like I've already given you an update about what's going on with Pogba and Lukaku. Obviously, with Diamond and Rojo, we've also got to get rid of them because, they've been very inconsistent for Manchester United. And let's be honest, Diamond, hasn't really been given the chance at Manchester United. Obviously with Rojo, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected, the amount of injuries and that he's currently sustained. So I do believe these players that need to leave the football club. Since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, we've seen Valencia leave after City served 10 years at the club. We saw Ander Herrera leave on a free transfer. Obviously, we saw Fellaini, of course, leave. So yeah, I think we definitely need to get rid of players. But with Harry Maguire, as I have been updating you on a regular basis, because obviously we do know Manchester United are in search for a central defender. Like I said, we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. And there's been a lot of central defenders on our agenda because we haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic and Fernandes. We've had issues defensively, for quite some time. And obviously, last season we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games, I think it was. And that was our highest total in 40 years. So that just indicates how, the issues that we've got defensively. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has instructed Ed Woodward, to get a deal completed for Harry Maguire and all that. So I think this is actually, following, the serious knee injury, that Eric Bailly had sustained. Obviously, he had to come off in our 2-1 victory against Tottenham. I think he was only on pitch for like 10 minutes, was Eric Bailly. But now, based on this injury, he has sustained. It's a serious knee injury and he's obviously a big doubt for the new season. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to get the deal over the line for Harry Maguire, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to put Harry Maguire alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, because I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's excited about the prospect of linking Harry Maguire up with Victor Lindelof in our back line, and I do believe Victor Lindelof, he'd like, Harry Maguire to partner up with him in our current back line. But I do believe, Harry Maguire is keen on making a move to Manchester United, so obviously, he wants to relish that opportunity. Obviously, Harry Maguire has obviously informed Brendan Rodgers, he's also informed his Leicester teammates that he does want to leave Leicester to obviously rejuvenate his career and take his footballing career to the next level. I do believe Brendan Rodgers has confirmed that 2 bids have been rejected for him. Obviously, we've already had a £70 million bid turned down for Harry Maguire. Brendan Rodgers has reportedly come out, is it today or yesterday, and he's basically now said, Brendan Rodgers, that he's insisted that there is no cut-off point, no cut-off point, which means Leicester have which means where Leicester are not considering selling Harry Maguire and all that. So reportedly now, it didn't actually say that Brendan Rodgers imposed a deadline the other week on any potential bid to Harry Maguire, but reportedly now, Brendan Rodgers has confirmed that he's insisted that this cut-off point, there's no longer a cut-off point, and all that. This is what he's basically said, and reportedly, where Leicester, don't consider, selling Harry Maguire. But anyway, I think Harry Maguire, does want to make the move to Manchester United and all. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has identified him as his number one defensive target. But like I said, I think Leicester's valuation, has seemed to be the stumbling block for quite some time, because obviously, Leicester basically made it clear, they want in the excess of £80 million, so they do want world record fee for him. I do believe this is what basically Leicester currently want, and like I said, the valuation has seemed to be a stumbling block for quite some time. But yeah, so it did basically say, Leicester will only let Harry Maguire, leave Leicester as long as we're willing to pay a world record fee and that for the defender. Obviously, Harry Maguire, he played yesterday in Leicester City's game against Stoke in pre-season. That actually, could be Harry Maguire's farewell appearance. But Manchester United and Manchester City have been battling out for his services. Reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like Harry Maguire was going to be going to Manchester City, wasn't it, at one point? Because obviously, City would orchestrating on paying him around £280,000 a week. It also said, City, we're going to get him for a world record fee of £80 million. And his initial first choice preference was Manchester City. Ahead of Manchester United was Harry Maguire. And obviously, City were seeing him as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But obviously, City are reluctant, to meet what Leicester are demanding. So, Leicester wanted in the excess of £80 million. Some reports have said, the value at around £90 million. Man, that's way too extortionate, is £90 million. Manchester United will be reluctant to pay that, because for £90 million, £90 million, we'd be able to get Koulibaly without maybe just a bit more than £90 million. So Man United probably will be willing to go over the £80 million mark of Harry Maguire. But I think he's a very, very good central defender. He's well Premier League proven, so that's very beneficial for Manchester United. He's also quite tall. His defensive abilities are good. He's passing's really, really good. I think his passing ability is really, really good. I think his distribution's good. He's got great potential. He's not very fast, he's Harry Maguire, sorry, but I don't think that's currently an issue. But Man United have been in talks with Leicester for quite some time over getting a deal concluded, and I do believe we are still currently in talks now. But recent reports have indicated out saying that Leicester have told Manchester United that they want a higher transfer fee up front, because Leicester are very adamant that they don't think we'll qualify for the Champions League next season. Well, actually, we failed to qualify for the Champions League 3 times out of the 6 seasons since Alex Ferguson's retirement. So it reported says so far we've offered around £72 million with additional bonus payments, with additional bonus payments, due to be based on trophies and on obviously us finishing in the top 4. But Leicester have confirmed they want a higher transfer fee up front, according to reports and all that. But Harry Maguire, definitely wants to come to Manchester United and all that, because obviously it rejuvenates his career and it'll take his footballing career to the next level. Plus also Manchester United will be able to pay him quite a lot more money than what he's currently receiving at Leicester at the moment. But on 2 occasions it's come out and allegedly said, I know it's proven to be a load of nonsense, but he said it on last Sunday, they basically said, we agreed an £80 million deal with Leicester for Harry Maguire. It was stemming from Bleacher Report. He said allegedly we'd pay $70 million up front, with $10 million in add-ons. And then a couple of weeks ago, this was stemming from Duncan Castles, who's not that reliable, to be quite honest with you. Can be reliable, but not always reliable. And he initially said that Man United had agreed around an £80 million deal with Leicester for Harry Maguire, and he said we'd pay $60 million up front with $20 million in add-ons. And he initially said he was set to have his Manchester United medical the other week and all that. So that got proven to be a load of nonsense. So we are still looking to come to an agreement on a fee for Harry Maguire. I initially thought, I think it is actually Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's top priorities is to recommend a central defender in, and then focus on bringing a couple of new additions in that midfield. But obviously now is a change of scenery, because it's looking like Bruno Fernandes is going to be coming in, then maybe Milinkovic, Savic, then it may be Harry Maguire, or it may be Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, then Milinkovic, Savic, and all that. So so there could be our next 3 signings there, like I said. But with Harry Maguire, like I said, he's been in Premier League is it about 2 or 3 years, something like that. For Leicester, he's made 76 appearances in all competitions. 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. He only signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, don't forget. So he's under contract with Leicester till 2023, because he did sign a 5-year deal, like I said. And Leicester paid around £17 million to him from Hull City back in 2017, and he did serve a couple of years with Hull. He's obviously played under Mike Phelan's guidance, and I do believe Mike Phelan has instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for him, because obviously he's maybe keen on reuniting with the player. And we was also tracking Harry Maguire, when he was a youngster at Sheffield United, we was also tracking him them. So Manchester United have been relentless, linked with him. You can't put him in Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level, Harry Maguire, because Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-half in the world without a shadow of a doubt. Harry Maguire, in my opinion, I don't think he's worth £80 million. I think maybe £70 million, in my opinion anyway. I think £70 million is probably reasonable, in this market for Harry Maguire. But I'd say over that, Leicester are basically asking for too much. £90 million is way too steep, so I'm very sceptical, that Manchester United, would pay that. But, we'll pay it. I think we are willing to meet what Leicester are demanding. If we can cash in for Pogba and Lukaku, then I think we'll be orchestrating, meeting what Leicester are currently demanding. But like I said, £80 million is quite a bit of money, and we initially said, we're not, orchestrating, overspending on our current transfer targets. And but we've been in pole position, for quite a while now of getting Harry Maguire on the board. But don't forget, we've already had a £70 million bid turned down for the player. But last summer our priority was to recommend a central defender in, but obviously we didn't get our number 1 targets last summer, because obviously reflecting back last summer, the board weren't backing the signs that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend in. But Jose Mourinho also had bad disputes with the players, even though he's a proven winner, Jose Mourinho, and he's obviously being one of the best managers in the world. It just didn't work out for him at Manchester United. Like I said, he had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with the players. Even though Mourinho spent just under £400 million on 11 players, but we haven't been competitive enough in the last couple of windows. We didn't get anyone in January. We didn't get our number 1 targets last summer. We didn't spend that much last summer. I think we brought around 3 players in last summer, but like I said, there's still lots to address in the Manchester United squad. But Harry Maguire, like I said, I think he blended alongside Lindelof in our backline fantastically well. Plus, he's British as well, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. He's still, 26 years of age, so he's still got a lot of development in him. So the rumours still continue about Harry Maguire. Obviously, there's been other central defenders on our agenda. There's been obviously talks about Toby Alderweireld still going on. Looking at Toby Alderweireld, he will cost us substantially. Well, it'll cost us a lot less than Harry Maguire. Will Toby Alderweireld, and but I just don't think it's in our plans. To bring Toby Alderweireld in. Toby Alderweireld is Premier League proven, which would be beneficial for Manchester United. Like I said, it'll cost a lot less than Harry Maguire will Toby Alderweireld, but so I think he could actually end up now staying at Tottenham. His initial release cost is around 25 million. Obviously, Koulibaly, there's still talks about him going on, but I think there was a lot of contradictions about the stories about Koulibaly. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I think the only way we'd get Koulibaly is if the club were willing to pay silly amounts of money for him. Koulibaly would probably cost more than Harry Maguire, but yeah, I'd say he's probably out of the equation because I think Napoli have looked to offload him. At one point we was in for Rafael Varane, at one point we was in for De Ligt, but obviously he's out of the equation because he's gone to Juventus. So there was being so many central defenders on our agenda, and I think last summer we was willing to pay around £100 million for a central defender, and but like I said, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can be successful at Manchester United. He has got a bit of experience as a manager. He proved himself in his first 3 months when he was the interim manager at the club. He proved himself then. He also won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mold, and he didn't work out for him at Cardiff. He only had a short tenure with Cardiff, but he's got a bit of experience as a manager. Like I said, and I think he can be successful at Manchester United. And I do know we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, but we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years because obviously we've been mismanaged. This is the main factor reason why we have been achieving. Don't get me wrong, a hell of a lot of money's been invested into the football club. We've had different managers with different philosophies, and a lot of money's been spent into the football club. But we've obviously sacked 3 managers since Alex Ferguson's retirement and all that. And so hopefully it can work out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, believes he's following a policy that proved successful under Alex Ferguson, and I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. And like I said, regardless of who our manager is, no one's gonna have follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to achieve of what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years and the success that we did currently have. But we might be a toxic club, but we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England, historically. But like I said, I think Solskjaer can get Manchester United back to being a competitive elite level of football club. I hope I'm not wrong about that. And I hope it doesn't go all wrong under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because like I said, I love him. We haven't got the structure, of course, to keep sacking managers, as you all know. But like I said, still lots to address in this Manchester United squad. And I do know what squad Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to currently rebuild. And so I do believe the club's next 3 signings are going to probably be Bruno Fernandes, Milinkovic, Savic, and Harry Maguire. And that's basically it. And
number 1 is reverse that universal credit, because it's an absolute disgrace and people can't live on it. So how the fuck can people live on 50 quid a week? Number 2, people won't have to go pinching if they've got enough money to live on. Number 3, reinstate TV licence for 75 and over when they've worked all along.
And so just have some music then. And so I do believe they're going to be our next 3 signings. So Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United should be confirmed, whenever. Should be confirmed either today or maybe sometime next week. So we'll currently see what happens. With the news about David De Gea, I think as he updated you the other week about De Gea, he's agreed a 6-year contract with Manchester United worth around £117 million. He did basically say when we do return from pre-season tour that David De Gea was his contract was currently going to be announced. So I'll read a bit more up about David De Gea, but I haven't heard any latest news yet. But yeah, he's agreed a 6-year contract with the club, which will take him under contracts with the club until 2025. And he's got obviously this new contract is going to make him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, because obviously he's going to earn £117 million over the course of 6 years, and he's going to earn around £375,000 a week. So it is good now that David De Gea, of course, he's going to be staying at the football club, and he's been a long servant here. He's been here 8 years as David De Gea. Obviously at one point it was looking very likely he was going to be leaving the football club, because wasn't progressing in contract negotiations, because for quite some time the club were not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands and all that at one point. And David De Gea is going to get a huge pay rise anyway, because he's only on £200,000 a week at the moment, but he's going to get around £175,000 pay rise and all that. But he's been a long servant here. He's delivered the goods to Manchester United. I'd say he's had 7 good years out of 8. He wasn't good last season, made costly mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly to do with the contractual situation. But he confirmed the other week that there was breakthrough in negotiations between George Mendes and the club and all that. George Mendes, of course, is David De Gea's agent. But now we of course got him a new contract, which is absolutely fantastic news. But there's been quite a few long-serving players at Manchester United. David De Gea has been long-serving here. Jones and Smalling have been long-servants here. Valencia was a long-servant, but obviously now he's left the football club. Fellaini was a long-servant. When he was here, he served 6 years at Manchester United. Before he left in January. Luke Shaw's been here several years now. So there's been quite a few long-serving players at the football club. Ashley Young's been a long-servant here, like I said. He's been here around 8 years. But I'm happy with the David De Gea news, because at one point I thought he was going to be leaving because we wasn't succeeding in contract negotiations. We allegedly had around £300,000 a week for him on the table at the turn of the year. But yeah, very, very happy about this. But I don't think it's been officially announced as yet. Obviously, he was linked to a £60 million move to PSG, was De Gea. Obviously, Real Madrid were linked to him for a number of years. Real Madrid nearly got him in 2015, which was over 4 years ago now. But due to Fax Mancini's move to Madrid never materialised. I think there was talks about saying that Juventus would also in for David De Gea. But David De Gea has won everything here domestically. He's been here since the Alex Ferguson era. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 years. Reflecting on his impressive performances. So it's very good news that David De Gea is staying. So he's agreed a 6-year contract worth £117 million. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. How old is 28, 29 De Gea? So this new contract will take him until the age of 34 or the age of 35. So yeah, very, very good. I think addressing our left-hand side, I think we're okay on that left-hand side. That doesn't need addressing the left-hand side. We're okay there, because that's where the majority of our attack seemed to come from last season, that left-hand side. And obviously we've got Daniel James now anywhere, and he primarily plays off the left because that's where he's supposed to be more effective, even though he can also play on the right, can Daniel James, but he's supposed to be more effective in the left. We've got Luke Shaw as our left back, who's very reliable. Is Luke Shaw. He won the Player of the Year last season, of course, reflecting on his impressive performances. And Luke Shaw's a very, very imperative player indeed. So I think we're okay on that left-hand side. But like I said, guys, I've already given you the news about Pogba and Lukaku. I give you the update about Lukaku on my last video, didn't I? There's been a lot of talks of, Paul Dybala in a swap deal for Romelu Lukaku, and I think, a lot of Manchester United fans, would want to see this happen because it would be beneficial for the club. But yeah, that's what recent reports basically said. And with Paul Pogba, like he updated on my previous videos, Real Madrid are confident, they can currently sign Paul Pogba and all that. So yeah, guys. Like I said, but I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can definitely, be successful at Manchester United, which is very, very good. But hopefully, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can get all the players in before this window does shut. And he's around 11 or 12 days now left of this current transfer window. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got that proven pedigree as a player, because he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. So hopefully, we can get more deals over the line. So I think Bruno Fernandes is definitely not going to be coming in according to reports, and then hopefully we can get Milinkovic, Savic. Then we can follow up with that by getting Harry Maguire in. So I'll be very, very impressed. I do believe Manchester United need a right winner, but I'm very sceptical that a right winner is going to come in. So I don't think a right winner is, currently going to come in. But like I said earlier on the video, there's a lot of pace now in our attacking line. You've got Chong, who's a very good player. You've got Mason Greenwood, who's a more playing time this season. You've got Rashford, who's got good pace. Martial, who's got good pace. You've got Daniel James, who's got currently good pace. But I think our expectations this season probably will be to finish in the top 4 at least. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to exceed these expectations. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, and if you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.